And now, an ad from Dad.
All right, save money on car insurance when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Can I take these off? All right. What is this? This looks good. Wow, that's well made. Where did you get this? I'm talking to you with the hair. Yeah, where did you get this? It's good stuff. That's solid. That's not veneer, that's solid stuff.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, a place to discover what is possible for your life after the loss of a loved one, and where you will find inspiration, insight, support, and love, and hopefully a bit of laughter to help you through your day. Now, here's your host, Nada Hogan.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, where you will find light and life, love and joy, healing, faith, and hope. A place where you get to believe what is possible for your life. And today I have the great honor to have back with me again, Michelle Boss. And Michelle is a fabulous guest. She was on last week, so if you missed any of that episode, please go back and listen to it, because Michelle offers insights about grief, about life, about spirit, about energy. It's fabulous. And we're going to pick up that conversation. And I want to let everybody know that all of Michelle's information for her closed group Facebook page, which is called Good Grief, will be on the show notes. So if you missed that the first time around, that will be in the show notes. So no worries, you'll be able to connect, because it's a fabulous page that you have, Michelle. And I've been on there myself, reading and helping to support other people. And sometimes, as time goes by, you don't forget the pain, but you're not focused on the pain. Maybe you're focusing on something else in your life, and you read somebody's gut-wrenching post about, they had just lost their son or their daughter or parent or pet, and it's like, oh man, that pain that you feel. And when other people can be there to support and love and hold that person while they're grieving. It's just phenomenal work that you do to have this page, because your group is powerfully beautiful, compassionate, caring, supportive. I've never seen anything like the page that you have, and I honor you for the work that you do, and thank you for being there and showing up like you do in life. Thank you.
Well, thank you, but I have to say that the group is all of us. It's not just me. Like, it's everybody who is grieving. It's what when you lose someone, you are reduced to your core being, and when everything falls away, when the rug's been pulled out from under you, and everything you thought mattered is gone and doesn't matter anymore, you're so raw and you're so open to, one might call it vulnerability, but I would call it a sort of superpower. You're so open to everything, like the spirits, and just everything you look at is different. It's like colors are enhanced and sounds are enhanced and every feeling, and you sort of see through all the bullshit of life, and you just see the true being of yourself or of who you lost, or just the rawness of life. And I have to say, everyone in my group is what makes that group a great page, because everyone knows those feelings, everyone shares that. And like you said, when you reach somebody's heartache and it brings it up your heartache and you relate, you're connecting with them, and it's like they can feel it. And even if you don't respond, like, you have your responders, people who like things or love things or actually comment, and then you have the people that are just reading it and feeling it. That is also powerful, just reading it and feeling it, and you're in your awareness that person is going through something. Just in your awareness of it, you are reaching them, and you are connecting with them, and whether you respond or not. And that is what makes it powerful, I believe. And that we connect on that level, on that very, very raw level. And it's everyone in the group. And I love how supportive everyone is of each other, and no one puts religion in it. No one puts, their beliefs other than, just their own personal individual beliefs, not like the beliefs of organizations or anything like that. That's more personal, and I believe that everyone has the right to believe whatever they want. But on this page, the focus is grief, loss, death, and spirit, and the feelings and thought processes and fears and hopes around that.
Right. And one of the things that you just said, and how we even if you don't post, if you're on that page and you don't, give it a thumbs up or a heart or a comment on it, just that you read it, just that you're in the awareness of that somebody else, and then it brought up that pain for you and that remembrance of it, and being in that awareness, then you have already touched that other person. Reminds me so much just exactly about the turtles, the turtle eggs and the monarchs, right? Because there's just this knowing, there is this connection that is so deep inside of us that we're all ultimately connected, and we can absolutely communicate with other people without having to, pick up the phone and doing it this way. And when we just know that, because sometimes we feel like, I didn't do what I should have done. I should have said something and I didn't know what to say. And I like to tell people too, if you don't know what to say, you always can send love and blessings. Always, you can just send love and blessings, because that person will receive it. Energy knows, it's very direct. It's very determinate, and it knows it has its direction, and it will reach the source that you are intending it for. So
I believe
on
that
that
as well.
page,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I never thought about it like that with your page either. Just reading and just being in that awareness and just sitting with that person for a while with your consciousness, you have absolutely connected with that person, and that person feels that and knows it.
And not only that, it helps you heal. So you are connecting with that person, you're feeling their pain, you're feeling their rawness, and it reminds you of your own, and it helps you go back to that place and maybe heal it in a different way, because every moment we're a different person, because we are changing and growing. There's nothing that's just like, oh, I am who I am and this is it. No, we're an ever-flowing, changing being, and every time we feel something, one day we feel it one way, the next day we feel it another way, and each day we change and grow. We see things from a different perspective, and to see things through someone else's perspective sometimes, or almost always, helps us expand our own perceptions and feelings.
Right. Absolutely. On last week's conversation, we were talking about how everything in life is a lesson, and that we're here to learn and to grow from everything. And even from death, even from the things that are most painful. And I believe that that's how we learn our best lessons, when it has that kind of painful impact, that it's a lesson that we learn on a completely different level. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like death is the only thing that breaks us down that far, so that we get to that level. And anybody who's lost somebody close to them, that gut level of loss. And that is when you reassess yourself, and I know that with each person that I've lost, and I've lost not only my family, but a ton of friends, and, it's life. But each time I'm reminded of my own how precious life is, how brief it all is, how quickly it can change, and just appreciate. And that moves me into gratitude. And a friend of mine has a gratitude page on on Facebook, and I believe that helps a lot of people too. And I believe grief and gratitude go hand in hand. It's called Be Grateful 365 for whoever's interested. But that level, when you can, of course, when you lose someone and you feel like you can't live your life without them, you go through, it wouldn't be called gratitude. It'd just be called you're just lost without them, right? But once you cry yourself out of tears, and once you're in that exhausted, empty vessel of yourself, and then you still have to get up, you still have to go to work, you still have to look at people, but you get to do it however you want. And I have changed myself with every death, with every person. I feel it shifts me more into my true, authentic self, and that I live more fully for each person that passes, and more fully in the awareness of the preciousness of life. And I don't know how to express that to the outside world. It's really an inner thing, just to be thankful and to really embrace what is around you, whether it's the light moving across the room, the people you do have in your life, your pets, your plants, the things you love to do, whatever it is in life that you feel that you welcome back in, the things that heal us. For me, it's art, it's music, it's healing other people. I'm a massage therapist and a yoga teacher, so moving my body and really embracing, I have this body and this life for a short time, and what am I doing with it? And what can I do with it? What do I want to do with it? I believe that it's a very deep transformation of ourselves.
Yeah. When you were talking about that feeling where it's hard for you to find the words to say that, there's times where I feel whether it's gratitude, blissfulness, and I want to go back to gratitude because it feels like it's gratitude for this life, but gratitude is not the word. And that feeling, I have never found a word to describe it that is able to portray what that is, because there's so many times I find myself crying because I am so grateful for the experience to be here, to navigate through the things that are tough and hard and super painful, and to know what I have gone through and to where I'm at as a human, where I have grown and how I show up so completely differently in the world because I was part of a bigger picture that I didn't even at that time took for granted, that I didn't, right? You just kind of, at least that was my thinking, nothing's ever going to happen to my children. That happens to everybody else. That will never happen to me. And when you are at that place and it brings you to your knees and you realize, oh my God, the pain that literally can take a person out from this life, because that pain can be too excruciating. But then to get on the other side of that and to be able to feel that contrast of that gratitude for that person's life and how that person lives on inside of us, because I think they do. I think they live on inside of us. And I hear my daughter all of the time. I hear my daughter, I hear my mother, I hear my father, and I don't hear them in a way like a parent would scold you. I hear my parents in a way like they're cheering me on. It's such a different relationship. Do you find anything like that with your mother or with your brother?
Absolutely. I have heard her laugh. I believe that she helped me through the whole process. Being the only one left, to deal with the estate, to deal with her stuff, all of that. Like I never thought that I would be able to do that, and I didn't have any help, and I handled it efficiently and thoroughly. And that's my mom. that's my mom, is the efficient, thorough, like person. And when the day after she died, I woke up in her bed and I was like, wow, my mom's dead and I'm in her bed. And I heard a voice say, I will help you. And I was like, oh, whatever. And I got up to get some coffee, and her siblings were there, and they're like, we're going to help you. We're going to help you. And they were in their own way, wanted to help. They wanted to pack her stuff up, and they wanted to do it their way and just like get it over with. Right. And I was just like, they have families, they have, it was right around Christmas. I said, why don't you guys just go home and try to enjoy your Christmas? Because I just wanted to be there with my mom's fresh passing spirit and just feel her. I didn't change anything in her apartment for 3 weeks. I just sat there with her. I went through everything and trying to find clues and what I should do, and trying to, get everything together to deal with her estate and her stuff. But for 3 weeks, I literally sat there and conjured it with her. It was her apartment for 30 years with all of her stuff. And I had people, like my niece came over with her kids for a short time. And, it's like just, it was, and if somebody wanted to come back, that's fine. But I had nowhere else to go. I only had there because it was 2,000 miles away from where I live. So I was there, and I really, really, that time was such a deep grieving time and spiritually growing time. It was intense, and so grief, it doesn't, the levels of intensity, they, as everyone that has been in grieving knows, it changes. But it's not like, oh, it's over. Sometimes a sound, a smell, a memory will just bring you back, and you go back to that place of pure grief where you're you feel the pain of the loss, or the depth of the person, or all the lessons of life. Like, it felt like I was grieving first her life and all the things that happened to her, or all the things she, all the things I knew of her that were maybe sad or incomplete, or that we didn't get to, or whatever. And then, it was a year and a half ago. Now a part of my grieving the loss of her in my life is to grieve myself and who I was in that process and who I was before. And now then to embrace who I am now, because I am changed. It changes us, and we don't change back. We might appear to our coworkers or our friends. It's like, okay, yes, we're laughing again, we're smiling, we're dancing, but we're not the same person, because we have changed and we have grown, whether we like it or not. And we see things differently and we feel things differently. It seems to shift our whole perspective of everything, and it's not negative. It is. I don't even think it's negative or positive. It just it could be seen as positive. I see a lot of positive. I suppose I could use the word positive to describe that, but it's just growing, and to me that's what life is all about. So it's exciting.
Yeah. And I feel like that is just such an absolute beautiful gift of grief, that the loss that we endure when somebody has transitioned, crossed over, that beautiful gift of, it feels like love, that positive that you were talking about. For me, It feels like that love, and how it grows from that place that feels like it's the thing that's going to take you out. And yet love actually grows bigger and stronger from that place, which is just amazing.
That's exactly right. You said the right word. It all boils down to love.
Yeah.
And then we need to love ourselves, even if there was an argument, like you were saying before, or if things were, if it was a horrible death, or, whatever, we still it still boils down to love. We love that person. We continue to love that person. And we need to love ourselves also. If you had an argument with somebody and they died, or they died in a horrible way, some people will take that personally, and I would want to help lift them from that, and that it's not their fault, and that it's not necessarily negative or bad to die. Like our culture has this like, oh no, they died, it's like, well, I think it's going to be beautiful, but also it is life. And when you have a baby, like you said, you didn't think it was going to happen. This is one reason I didn't have children, because I knew when you have a baby, it's going to die. It's going to I thought of all the bad things that could happen, and not that death is bad, but it's going to be painful. There's going to be grief involved, because when you have a baby, you love that more than life itself, as you know. Yeah. And so that is the deepest relationship, the most intimate for most, so that's a very brave thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Michelle, I'm going to start bringing this in for a landing, and you're just fascinating, and I love how you present with this topic, because you are right. It's not an easy, for this culture. I think other cultures embrace it, and we just don't. In the Western culture, we don't embrace death, and we don't talk about it very often. And you are so fluent and articulate with it, and you paint a beautiful picture. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's yeah, and the experience and the gifts, the love that came from that person and from that depth of grief is just, in a million years, I never would have thought that it's the biggest blessing that has ever been laid upon my heart. And right, because I don't understand how all of this works, but I know I had a choice to do it one way or to do it a different way. And the only way I knew to do it was to honor my daughter, because the other way just felt like her life was going to be a waste. For me personally, that was the way that it worked for me. And I adore you. I love you. I love the work that you do. I think that you just walk in gratitude, and you're just such a beautiful soul yourself. And I just couldn't thank you enough for being here with us and sharing.
Well, thank you. I feel the same way about you. I feel that you're bringing so much, and your daughter, is this your daughter that's inspired all of this, Dara?
Yeah. And I believe Dara and your mom, what's your mom's name?
Carol.
Dara and Carol are out dancing, playing, having fun somewhere. Because I know for me, when I'm having a moment and I break down and I start crying, I just hear her saying, hold on, guys, I got to go down, take care of the old lady again, because she's having a moment, and I'll be right back for the poker game, or, because it really does. It feels like that. And there's times I just have to start laughing. It's like, I know I'm interrupting your fun, but I'm having a moment. So come and help me, and then you can go back and do what you need to do. So, so I just, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for your work. And I'm so grateful that we are connected, because this is not the end of our connection. There's so much that you have to share with the world. And I would love to stay connected with you and have you back on the show again at another time. If you would like to do that, I think that would be beautiful, because your work is powerful, and people need to know that there's another way to handle grief and death and loss, and it happened traumatically with you, and to be able to do it differently. And I think you have a powerful message, and I'm so grateful that you do the work you do.
Thank you so much.
And for you being on the show. Yeah.
Likewise,
yeah.
I feel that you are too, and that grief it's individual, just like we all are. Yeah. So everybody has their path and their way, and it's all good.
Yes.
However they want to do it. It might not feel good, but that's what everybody needs to do. And, no, it doesn't feel good. And that's the part of the transformation. Yeah. So
that's right.
Thank you so much. I look forward to sharing more with you anytime.
Yes, awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. And all of Michelle's information on how to join her closed Facebook group called Good Grief will be on the show notes. So if you missed any of that will be available on my website and in the show notes, so no worries about that. And to all of the listeners, thank you so much. And I know that you took away all kinds of wonderful wisdom and great information from Michelle Boss. And thank you, listeners. Have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your week, and we will see you next week.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Please go to nadahogan.com for show notes and other information you can use right away. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe to our show and don't forget to rate and review right there on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your shows. And don't forget to tell your friends about it. We'll see you next week.